PropTech, the problem has been that there have been amazing founders, amazing companies, but continuous cash burn with no revenue in sight. That is not acceptable over a longer term. And in case you need funds, then how to convince the investors in India?
There are few PropTech founders that have approached us and told us about their certain restriction or certain grievances that they face when they go for fundraising, especially if their ideas, and why I'm asking this, because you have faced the same, especially if their idea is not a replicate of already existing model, be in global market, US and China, and they come up with new ideas in India and try to pitch to investors, they are very hard to convince the investors. So what would be your key insight to help these entrepreneurs to help in raising fund, especially if their model is not there as a replica in global market?
So I think this is something which we struggled with, and perhaps we even struggle with now, because when we first approach investors, they said, who are you copy of, or whom are you inspired with in US or China? Are you a Uber of something? You are Amazon of something? Mm-hmm. And the answer is no, we are not inspired by anyone else. We are solving a very India specific problem. So my suggestion to these entrepreneurs are that please go on, because many of the problems are large in size and they are very, very India specific, and which basically gives a huge opportunity. And perhaps that's the reason why no other Amazon or Uber is going to come to India and solve them, because they haven't faced those problems anywhere in their country. So there's a very beautiful opportunity. Other companies from other countries are not going to come to India. The only thing that we need to do is figure out how to solve the problem, and in case you need funds, then how to convince the investors in India. So we did struggle convincing the investors, but I think the data and the customer acceptance is the ultimate truth. So many of the investors who were not convinced about NoBroker journey, when they saw the numbers increasing, when they saw that customers are using NoBroker as a first port of call. So today customers first come to NoBroker, check whether they can whether they can find a house, and if they can't, then they go to a broker or any other port. I think finally the decision maker is customer. It may feel as if the decision maker is founder or it is the investor, but it is not. And the reverse is also true. If you think this is an India solution, customers don't agree with it, it will not fly.
So you're saying if they are approaching investors with this new model or new business ideas, they should back it up with some data analytics.
Yes, and with whatever customers are saying. I'll just give you an example, anecdote. So many of the investors whom we met early on, some of them I remember saying, hey, what is such a big deal about paying brokerage? We have a flat, we have 2 flats in South Bombay, and we pay the broker whatever is due. What is the problem? Why do we need a company who wants to save brokerage? So I had to tell them that, hey, you are not our customer.
Yeah.
Our customers are basically those mass segment for whom a monthly rent is 30 to 40% of cash take home every month, who spend 1/3 or 1/4 or half of their monthly salary paying the rent. For them, paying that much equivalent amount additional every year is a huge burden.
Definitely.
And that is what we are basically going after. So many a times investors needs to be told that while it seems to be a solution for everybody, it is not for you. And the customer is someone else. And this is his photo, this is how he looks like, this is how his life is. And this is how happy he is when you solve his problem.
So do customer service as well.
Yes. I think painting that picture of customer trouble and what that trouble means for him is extremely important.
True. So is there any other advice from your end for the entrepreneurs in PropTech when they are planning to raise funds, apart from, of course, the data analytics and the customer survey?
Second advice would be that try to get to revenue initiation stage as soon as possible. So for example, see, in India is a large country, large population. If you offer everything for free, often it is easy to get lots of customers very quickly. But the moment you ask customer a single rupee, he becomes very demanding, which I'm sure as an entrepreneur, you would have also observed. So it's extremely important that you do not chase what investors are saying. Many of the initial investors get excited with seeing free customer data and how the customers are increasing.
Yeah.
I would suggest that try to initiate revenue mechanism very soon. So, for example, we opened our office in 2015 in February. Within 6 months, we launched our paid plans. And I remember many of the investors telling us, "What is the hurry? Shouldn't you gain a critical weight or critical number before you start charging customers?" We said, "Yeah, we will, and we are keeping it optional, but we want to start now. We don't want to be told or realize later that revenue doesn't work." Because PropTech, the problem has been that there have been amazing founders, amazing companies, but continuous cash burn with no revenue in sight. That is not acceptable over a longer term.
So tell me, we have spoken about the PropTech entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you must be observing so many PropTech companies that are entering in Indian real estate market. Is there any particular companies that you are following and you admire?
In which space?
In PropTech space, in India.
See, in PropTech space, I admire every competitor in general. I can't name any specific company, but I think all the competitors are very, very worthy competitors, very, very tough competitors that we had the fortune or misfortune of competing with, and amazing founders. So I think the talent which is there across the PropTech industry, be it the SaaS sort of companies or be it the direct platform companies, I'm friends with many of them. Amazing companies, amazing founders, and we feel blessed to be in this space working with them. And the amazing thing is that all of us combined would have 5% market share, maximum 10% market share, all of us combined. Still, the majority of the market is basically unorganized, customer struggling on its own. Today also, despite NoBroker being there for 8 years, I cannot say that you will surely get your property as an Indian citizen, you will get the property fastest, cheapest, everywhere. No, in some cities you will, in some of the cities you will not. Huge problem to be solved. And Roti Kapda Makan is the largest basically industry in any country. So as RealtyNXT knows it pretty well. Yeah.